friends. I'm really glad you're here today. I want to share a little bit today about some mobility and articulation through our hip joints. So many of us, especially in this culture, do not feel the full range of mobility that the femur, which is this big thigh bone, has within the pelvis. And we have this a ball and socket joint, so it can really travel in so many different dimensions. But so often we go from sitting to standing, and that's about the range that we get. So not much past 90. So in this little series, this little self-care exercises today, I'd like for you to play with how the head of the femur moves or excursions around in that hip joint. And as we do that, that helps the femur and the bones to remind it to make more bone. So we have nice, strong hips as we continue to age, and the ability to do all kinds of wonderful things in the world with our legs. So I want to share with you today, if you're able to get onto the mat or a floor, and we're going to use our hands behind us to help with stabilizing our bodies. If that feels like too much for you, then you might try doing this in a chair and modifying the movements just a little bit. But let's start by just moving the knees over to one side and then reaching with the heels and shifting your weight so that the knees rock over to the other side. Just a reminder, all of these exercises we want you to do within your level of comfort and ease. So you're exploring here what works for you. And maybe you can also learn to find different modifications that may work for your own body as you begin to play with these different movements. So that's where we're going to start. And now we're going to move a little bit more into a windshield wiper kind of action of the knees. So again, a lot of my weight is on my hands as I rock to the other side, and then gently bringing the knee down towards the floor. And so you can see how what I'm working is the maximum level of internal rotation and external rotation of this hip joint, the thigh bone into the hip socket. You could do this for a long while. This is a great exercise to kind of oil up those joints of the hips as you move back and forth. So take your time here. You could stay for a lot longer. If you want to increase your range of motion a little bit more, we can slide one knee on top of the other knee and then open that knee like a book and rock yourself gently forward to close the other knee on top. And let's do that movement a few times back and forth. Being careful, being mindful. It may be that your knee doesn't go quite as far, and maybe you want to have a pillow or a blanket or a bolster under that knee to give you some support as you open and close the knees. But if you can, let that knee come all the way down and then adjust your upper body to how much twist you want in that hip joint. You may find that you kind of inch forward in these exercises. So if you need to adjust your spacing, you can just rock back. And again, you could stay with this for quite a long time. Noticing yourself. You know, sometimes I have clients say, how many of these do I need to do, Jessica? And I say, well, you'll know. Just feel it out. Feel your own system. What feels good? Can you stay with the exercise long enough to find some kind of comfort in the movement? And then if you'd like to take it up to the next level of challenge, closing those book knees together and then sliding out one ankle and knee so it's on the floor. And then I'm paying attention to this top hip here, and I'm going to do a gentle glide back and forth of this hip around the thigh, letting the thigh move where it needs to. Very soft. If you feel any impinging things, just go a little bit smaller, a little softer. This is not about forcing a stretch or pushing or efforting to get a little bit more range of movement. This is simply finding the glide in those hips and in your lower back. Crossing the knees together again, opening like a book, and let's do the same on the other side. Gliding the knee out. This top hip here, I'm just going to move back and forth. Nice and easy. Good, and then we'll add in one more variation on the other side, closing the knees, opening back up, and then feeling the upper body twist around. And you can get creative with your arms here, doing a little dance. What I'm most interested in, maybe even do 2 arms at once. What I'm most curious about is simply letting the upper body move through the space in places and ways that feel juicy, really, to your body, getting that movement at the hip. So I'm still focused on getting a little movement here at my hip joint, even though I'm moving through the spine and the upper body and arms as well. And then I might cross the knees again, open back out, and do the same on the other side. Gently glide that top leg out, and then play, explore. Can you paint your fingertips around your space as if you're painting the walls of your room? Maybe you put on your favorite music and do a little hip opening dance here, right? Getting a lot more glide and ease and fluidity through the hips. Bringing those knees together, and then maybe you recheck that open and close again and see if there's any shifting, any more ease through those hips, or maybe you come back to your back and forth knees, rocking again side to side. And then I would definitely suggest getting up and having a dance party, or at the very least walking around your space and checking out your new hips, seeing how they feel. Hope you enjoyed our little hip opener series today. Enjoy. Thanks for being here.